Welcome back to the Captain Horsborough Center of Excellence for this match day 6 between Humber Lion and Waterhouse. Promises to be an exciting one. Humber Lion starting off, of course, the man Clennon, but they go forward now quickly, and Clennon, that ball sent over the top for Andre Clennon. Clennon still on the ball. Lewin sends that ball inside, just collected by Dwar. Calmly taken, and Stewart loses it. Humber Lion going forward. And there's some defensive work by Waterhouse. Mark Rodney in a very advanced position. And got a throw for Humber Lion.
It's a very positive start from Humber Lion, and for sure that will help.
That ball sent inside, headed on by Donato Thomas. And Waterhouse just trying to get themselves out of danger, and they do. Now it's with Kenroy Howell. Over to Donato Thomas, but he couldn't latch on to that one, and he goes into touch for a throw. No Ricardo Thomas in this game. Well, at least, yes, no Ricardo Thomas. Normally it's two sets of brothers for Waterhouse. Ramon and Kenroy Howell, and then of course Donato Thomas and Ricardo Thomas. And Ricardo Thomas has been a very good serviceman for Waterhouse.
It used to be a family affair, or more of a family affair with Waterhouse. But yeah, I mean, there's still a formidable unit without the likes of Thomas.
Yes, he's out with an injury, Ricardo Thomas. It's Howell. Wanted to find Andre Fletcher. Getting some defensive work, and Colorado Murray trying to get that one, and he does. Still Colorado Murray in a shot wide of the target. Wanted to, well, attempted to curl it past Dennis Taylor, but that was way wide.
Way wide, but Lorenzo Lewin, the player caught in possession, really should have gone for it. It was a soft pass, and passes like that you need to go. And he saw the player bearing down on him, but still just was not switched on. And if he's not switched on for the remainder of this one, and he could cause some problems for his team. Humber Lion not looking to play out from the back, trying to avoid the press. I mean, when you're not winning games and not doing well, low on confidence, you don't want to make life more difficult for yourself.
100%. And Humber Lion coming forward. Still Christian. Play back and find Andrew Vanzi, and to watch Rodney. Ball sent across to try and find Clennon, but couldn't. Defensive work by Thomas, sent inside, and again Waterhouse had to clear, and it goes into touch for a throw to Humber Lion.
It appears Clennon is a target man here for Humber Lion. He did win the first ball and have the flick on that went to Christian, and again the ball played into the box. He was the target, so he seems to be their point man.
Lion trying to find a ball inside, blocked by Kenroy Howell, but they still have possession. Humber Lion decided to go back in defense. Rodney pushing forward. Finding Lewin, it's still Lewin, sent inside for Clennon, chests it down, and it's still Clennon, wide of the target. The closest out of the two teams so far.
Well, it really has only been Humber Lion on the attack so far in this one.
Right.
And yes, as I just spoke about Clennon, he seems to be the target player, looking to hold it up. Good turn there, collecting first touch, just got away from him, but it's quick just to react, and that one just whistled past the left upright.
There was a collision between two players, but Clennon came on as a substitute in the last game, and Andrew Price saw something. As we see Colorado Murray writhing in pain, and seems to be Rodney that was the player that collided with Colorado Murray. It is. See the collision.
I think the problem is that both players really had eyes for the ball and was not aware of what was going on around them. And so I think just the wind being knocked out of them, and it should be good again, both players. Rodney already on his feet.
Well, the wind was knocked out of both of them, but Rodney has caught his breath, and he's up and walking. But Colorado Murray is slow to get up. But Humber Lions starting very positively so far, and that very good opportunity by Clennon, I guess that is the reason why Coach Price wanted to start Clennon. As I said before, he came on as a substitute, but now Coach Price said, I want you starting, and probably that's the reason why.
It gives them a good target up front, as I said. Twice has won the ball, the keeper sent target him, Taylor. Back kick went straight to him, he flicked it on, and then when the ball was played into the box, it was a definite ploy to get to him, and he got a good shot off. So that's warning signs for Waterhouse.
Headed out by Vanzi, coming back to do some defensive work. You think that he would be the link between the defense and the middle of the park. And ball sent inside. Ooh! Kenroy Howell.
Just a yard off the pace there, Howell. By the time he got there, it appears the ball pass seemed to have been Campbell who had sent in that wicked cross into the box. Keeper Dennis Taylor, dare not come for that one. And I think he was just hoping and praying that Kenroy Howell missed, and he did oblige.
The Lord answered his prayers.
But that's what Waterhouse will want to do. They'll want to get this Humberland defence turned around, defending with their face to goal. They have not been comfortable so far this season, but you can't fault Humberland for their start to this game. Manager Price, give him credit with all the pressure he's on their team not getting a point. He has decided not to just park the bus. He has gone to look for the win in this one. It certainly helped too when you know you're not going to be relegated. So
that's one of the rules by the JFF president, Michael Ricketts. Said that for 2 seasons, no teams will be relegated. But you have to, at least in those 2 seasons, don't make a statement to say that I won't be the one that will be relegated after those 2 seasons of immunity is up.
And they have to, they would want to do that. And what you'd want to see, I did quiz Coach Price on whether or not there's depth in the squad. Maybe in the future, maybe come next season, you'll see a lot more youngsters coming through. It's an opportunity to get their feet wetted in the season without the pressure of relegation. And by the time that is a part of the league again, they would have been seasoned somewhat.
And there was some good passing spells by Waterhouse. And in the end, they were awarded a free kick. Ramon Howell. His ball intercepted by Rika Edwards. And Colorado Murray regains possession for Waterhouse. An opportunity for Waterhouse. And it's Siobhan Stewart and a shot at goal. And blocked by the defender. And still a shot. Oh, that was whistling just over the bar. And another opportunity rings in. This time it's for Waterhouse. And they kept on pressing. And that shot by Ramon Howell is sending some warning signs for Waterhouse to Humber Lion.
Well, in the last couple of minutes, the 2 Howell brothers have really come closest here for Waterhouse. And you feel Humber Lion a little slow to come out to really put pressure on the ball, inviting the shot from distance. And they're going to have to correct that. They're going to have to put pressure on the ball much quicker around their 18-yard box, because what we've seen here from Waterhouse, not shy to shoot, and they do have a lot of players that will be committed to the attacking play. And if not having pressure on the ball, there will be a lot of option for the man on the ball. And Howell just Ramon Howell there exercising one, which was a shoot.
First corner of the game. Not the best attempt at converting that corner, Colorado Murray. And the captain, Dennis Taylor, just instructing his players. Of course, he returned from national duties for the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Jamaica losing in the quarterfinals to the United States. But here's Waterhouse now. Kimani Campbell sends up one inside for Siobhan Stewart. Siobhan Stewart shot at goal, it's blocked. Still Siobhan Stewart of Waterhouse taking off the ball, and now Humber Lion can attack. It is Jermaine Christian. Sends it across to find Jibison. Decide to play it back for Roden.
I think that sequence of attack here from Humberland, they've missed a beat with that one. Waterhouse had committed about 7 players forward. Clennon was breaking, and the opportunity did come from Christian to switch the point of attack and get Clennon a chance to run at the one defender on his flank. They didn't do that.
But now again they come forward. And of course, the man Sean Dwyer just lets that run for the goalkeeper.
Mentioned earlier, Waterhouse, they will commit a lot of players. There were 7 players in that sequence of attack just now, and Humberland will have to do better in terms of capitalizing, as we see an infringement there by the left back for Humberland, Roden.
It's actually Rico Edwards.
Rico Edwards, yeah.
Foul on out. Andre Fletcher. Andre Fletcher, of course, scored in that match against Tivoli Gardens. Beautiful turn to get by Pennycook and slotting it past the goalkeeper. They may be looking to get on the score sheet again today, Dwight, but by the way how Waterhouse is pressing, you would think they might get the first goal in this one. Not a surprise, as they have done so many times this season, but only able to get 3 points on one occasion. Trust me, Marcel Fuzzy Gale would want to change that outcome, that fortune for Waterhouse.
Yes, they would want to do that today for sure. Humberland, on the other hand, wouldn't want them to score first. They have a decent start to the game, Humberland, you feel. You didn't expect them to overrun this Waterhouse team, but they've certainly put a statement of intent that they're not going to sit back. They're looking to hurry Waterhouse as much as they possibly can.
Of course, Humberland still searching for their first win or first point of the season. Dealt with by Finlayson with authority. And Siobhan Stewart is marshalling the middle of the park. One to watch. Beautiful ball sent to Fletcher, and Fletcher may be looking to get the first goal of the contest, and it just wide of the target again. Tried to switch onto his left foot, and Waterhouse just keeps coming.
Seemed to have been Siobhan Stewart who made that pass.
Beautiful pass.
It's a lovely pass, and that one pass broke the lines, and good dribble into the box. Just the final shot lacked the tenacity that would be required to beat Taylor. But again, Waterhouse does look ominous when they do go forward. Coach Gale will be pleased with pretty much what he's seen since Waterhouse has settled, but would want to see it reflected in the goal column.
Very much so. Waterhouse, not a bad start. Almost 14 minutes gone, and it's still 0-0, but you would think based on the play so far between the two teams, Waterhouse maybe get the first of 2 if there is to be a goal in this game. Very good turn by Kimani Campbell. Sends up one inside for Fletcher. And just nipping the ball for a corner is Rico Edwards. Again, Waterhouse continue to attack.
Nice, and Humberland, as I said before, it will be interesting to see how their back four deal with this incessant pressure from Waterhouse. And again, ball into the box, defenders face the goal. Always a difficult job to do, clearing your lines when you're facing your goalkeeper.
Second corner of the contest for Waterhouse, dealt with by Clennon.
So he seems to be an interesting, important player for Humber Lion in both penalty boxes. You see him as a target man when they do go forward, but also seems to have a very good head of the football, have the height for it as well, and doing the work defensively for his team as well.
Still Waterhouse, 1-2 touch between Howell and Stewart. Howell, beautiful ball, playing skill from Waterhouse, and Dennis Taylor had to be called into question. Just a passing clinic there for the couple of seconds that Waterhouse had the ball, and they had an opportunity.
That's a good passage of play from Waterhouse, good one-touch football, and then once it came to Howell, good shot off, and Taylor had to be at full stretch.
Corner again, heading inside. That's the first goal of the contest. Colorado Murray, his second start for Waterhouse. And yes, he's smiling. So in the 16th minute, Waterhouse leads Humber Lion by a 1-0.
That's a decent, good header. He came outside the near post, had to flick it. And once you get outside the near post, all your neck muscle come into play. And Murray on that occasion got a very good delivery in terms of the corner coming in, pinpoint accuracy, and he met it so sweetly and got a run, just got a few yards on his runner, his marker, and once he did that, goalkeeper Taylor really had no chance. It's a good glancing header, and Taylor not pleased with the marking.
Not happy at all, and that was his second opportunity for Waterhouse from a corner. Colorado Murray, their third overall, third corner, and of course he maybe had in his mind that if he had gotten that same opportunity he would in fact convert, and that he did. Beautiful header and a very good run inside the box, and it just flicked on, and Dennis Taylor couldn't do anything about that one, and of course he was very upset with his team by the marking of the players, and that led to a goal.
Some will look at it and think, okay, near to the goalkeeper, could have done better. At that distance, it's really difficult. It's all about the reflex, and before you know it, it was past Taylor. It's really the marking that you have to really be upset about.
Heading inside, an opportunity for Humber Lion. A beautiful strike. What a goal by Andrew Vanzi, his second goal of the season. And just as they conceded, they have equalized it. Humber Lion 1, Waterhouse 1. What a game.
Well, we did say that we're hoping that Humber Lion will make a game of this one. But what's interesting here, the second ball, Waterhouse, they did win the first. And once it fell to Vanzi, one thing on his mind, the Waterhouse defense, static, not coming out in time to close down Vanzi. And with a good player, you give them time and space, and it's always going to hurt you. And we saw there for Waterhouse, closest player to the play there, Binns, not able to come out and close down. And Vanzi, the player to watch, certainly help Humber Lion here. And we spoke about Waterhouse being the team that has lost more points from winning position than any other team in this league. Here they go again. It's a long way to go, but again they're showing those signs.
Showing those signs they are, but what a start to the game. Colorado Murray in the 16th minute, and then 2 minutes later, bang, 1-1. So we're in for a treat, aren't we?
Yes, it's one of the games that you'd have come into it, and based on the form table, you expect Humber Lion to be swept aside. But you know, when you look at it, the trainer for Waterhouse in Chris Paul did say that he felt Humber Lion was doing fairly well, just small margins for them, and in this case it was a small margin for them in terms of Vanzi finding some space in the box, not being closed down fast enough, and finding the back of the net. And they would want to really consolidate from here, Humber Lion, not go behind again, because they have struggled for goal. This is only their third goal of the season,
and they'll be looking to get some more and get their first positive point of the season. They're yet to do that. 5 games played for Humber Lion. They've yet to register a point or even 3 points. Well, I should say 3 or even a point this season. So they'll be working hard to get that positive result. And Andrew Price said they're going to go at them. And that they did and got an equalizer.
As I said, it was a good start by them, Humberline. And sitting back as we see them in the attack here again.
Humberline. That ball was blocked by Sean Dwyer. So for the last 2 minutes or so, Humberline have been attacking Waterhouse, gotten a goal for their troubles, and they'll be looking for a second. So Andrew Price was right. They were going after Waterhouse, and even though they did concede, they equalized. Here's a corner for Humberline. First one of the contest. First one to that, of course, was Jermaine Christian.
Coach Price did speak about wanting to see from his team a lot of fight and tenacity, and I guess he's pleased with what he's seeing. We see him there just observing, being very calm, but he's getting that from his team, and that can't be a fault of his team so far in this game. It comes down to quality at the end. You know, Waterhouse is packed with that all over the park, but at least for effort, Humberline matching Waterhouse.
They would want to continue to match Waterhouse. Here is Siobhan Scarra Stewart looking for someone and finds Ramon Howell. Chips that ball forward to try and find Andre Fletcher. And that play by Mark Rodney has gotten him a throw for Humberline.
We saw Rodney starting a bit slow, but has gotten up to the pace of the game. And based on the pace of the game and the condition, it's the hydration break is upon us. But we've seen a good opening, 22-23 minutes so far in this contest. 2 goals. You don't come to expect goals from Humberline, but they have certainly made a contest of this one. And Vanzi there, the goal scorer. A player to watch, has been very critical and instrumental for Humberline so far in a failing season, and nonetheless he has really stand out, and it really speaks to his quality to be able to stand out in a team that is not really doing well so far.
Yeah, a player to watch, and trust me, I know that Andrew Price, the coach, enjoyed watching that goal being scored by Andrew Vanzi. And again, he's been all over the park for Humberline, and I did say he would have been that important link between the middle of the park and the forward for Humberline, and instead he became the goal scorer.
Well, you can link things up all you want. If you feel it's not going the way when you link it up, he just took it up on himself to really get that goal. And when you look at it, I mean, it really was a poor defensive header, but he really capitalized, and that's all you can ask for. You put a ball, they got a free kick, put it into the box, into the danger zone, and just ask their players to get onto the end of it or be alert. And once that second ball came to Vanzi, he made good use of it. And that was after a very good goal too from Waterhouse.
Yes, from Colorado Murray, his second start of the season, and he made use of that start today. He scored a very good header from that corner swung in by Donardo Thomas and decided to meet the head of Colorado Murray, and it was beautifully headed on, and it passed the goalkeeper Dennis Taylor for the first goal of the contest. But based on what we've seen so far, it's an exciting game. Both teams have been able to press, get some opportunities. Both teams constantly going forward, surging forward, and both teams getting a goal.
It's certainly not a cagey encounter, this one. Both teams are playing open football, which is good to see. The handbrakes have come off, even for a Humberline team that is searching for their first point of the season. And Waterhouse, though, will feel they've hurt themselves again with going ahead and being pegged back.
Story of Waterhouse's season so far. Now it's from 4 positions or 5 positions, and they've not been able to capitalize so far. We are not fortune tellers, so we don't know how this match will play out. As we see Kimani Campbell, know that the man Andre Fletcher wanted to turn by Rika Edwards but couldn't.
Rika Edwards did well there, just used his body and got across the line and got himself between man and ball. And that's half your job done as a defender. They will have to do their job to the fullest though on the line. As this game wears on, you expect Waterhouse to continue to come forward in droves. They do commit players forward and they do look slick in attack.
Waterhouse regains possession. Beautiful challenge by Mark Rodney. Fancy the goal scorer. Back to Lewis and it's sent across the road. And blocked by Murray. That pass blocked by Murray. And some mix-up in communication between Dennis Taylor and his defense.
He came to him, apparently didn't want it, but I think he kicked. He kicked over the ball.
Yeah.
Too much around it as well. I think he wanted to do that.
Has to be careful. A man like Colorado Murray would want to give that opportunity to him.
Well, he's certainly seen what he can do already.
We know what he's capable of.
Again, that's about the 3rd or 4th time that Taylor has found Clennon. It's definitely a target. I think Waterhouse will then now have to get numbers up anytime there's a goal kick for Humberline. Whichever side Clennon is, that's certainly where Taylor will be going.
Yes. And you saw previously on your screen, possession 57% for Waterhouse. And some defensive work again by Waterhouse.
Clennon not good there. Needed to find Sir J. Graham. That pass was not good enough. Graham, we felt, would have had a chance to turn.
Donald Thomas puts that ball forward. Kenroy Howell didn't find Stewart at all. Very good interception by Colorado Murray. Now it's with Damian Binns. Howell is being hounded by Graham. Turns and finds Binns. And now Waterhouse can go forward again. The defense just blocking. Andre Fletcher knows what he's capable of when they do try to find him.
It's a good tracking by Roden. He really followed the runner, and that's what we spoke about earlier, that Waterhouse will have runners and you have to track them, and on that occasion Roden was switched on and ensure that his defensive duties were excellent.
Look at how Humberline is just pressing, and they know they cannot give Waterhouse any time on the ball or any meaningful time on the ball, or else it could spell some trouble. Ramon Howell looking for a pass and finds Stewart, who sends it back for Ramon Howell. A lot of time, finds his brother Kenroy Howell, and in the end the referee, I think he says it's a free kick for Waterhouse. Yes, it is.
I think Van's in there just trying to ensure that he broke up the play. It was looking ominous. Committed that infringement just to give his team the chance to regroup and organize themselves and deal with this free kick that has been as part of his responsibility, not just linking the defense to the midfield and getting his team going forward or scoring goals. I think it's a primary responsibility here is to protect this back four that occasion he felt he had to commit the infringement to do so.
They always call those the smart fouls. But it's Damian Bint. We know a Bint already that can strike it from here. And it's with Bint, a shot at goal. It was blocked by the man Linval Lewis.
You see Bins here looking to strike. That was going straight. You felt Taylor would have dealt with that one, or should have been able to deal with that one. It seemed to be going straight to him just now. But that was a good strike, and we could see the effect here. Really, that's literally putting your body on the line for your team.
Well, that's the rule a lot of times for the defenders. Just guided it behind for a corner to Waterhouse. That was some power. So both teams able to put the ball into the back of the net after many tries. Of course, Colorado Murray broke the deadlock in the 16th minute, and then 2 minutes later, the target man Andrew Vancy, the player to watch, chested nicely after an ineffective clearance of the head by Waterhouse, and it's 1-1. Thomas with the corner, trying to go near post again, but Humberland saw that one all the way through again, sends it inside, headed goalwards. Side netting. Waterhouse again. This time it's the captain, Nikolai Finlayson.
Taylor was beaten. He came, was nowhere near that. And he's putting his hand up to apologize to his team. Once that came across, he was always going to be second best. And he's a very relieved man to see that that went wide. As a goalkeeper, when you come like that, you want to be certain. That occasion, Taylor, who Humberland would have brought in because of the fact that they've shipped 12 goals so far, 11 goals before he came in, looking for some assurance at the back. That occasion wasn't so assured as one would come to expect of him, but I'm pretty sure with his experience he will put that behind him quite quickly.
Waterhouse attempt at an attack was intercepted by Mark Rodney. Lewis over to Edwards. Edwards finds Shamar Roden. Led out by Finlayson, but Humberline still has possession. Fancy. Over to find Graham. Tried to turn by Dwar, but ran into a wall, so to speak, and now Waterhouse can attack. Now it's Chevron Scarra Stewart. Ball sent forward to find Andre Fletcher. It's Fletcher versus Rodney. And, well, Rico Edwards, and it was collected by Dennis Taylor. So, finally he latched on to one of those passes from the middle of the park, Andre Fletcher, but couldn't get by the defender, Kenroy Howell. Now it's with Waterhouse through Kenroy Howell. Still Waterhouse sends that ball inside and nobody able to latch on. And a shot by Kimani Campbell didn't fall properly on his left foot. I'm not sure if it's a shot or a pass inside. Normally he's the one sending those passes inside the 18-yard box, but
well, that's your left back arriving in the box, very attacking, or wing back. But that cross was just over the head of Fletcher, and it needed a better, more composed finish from Campbell. Once you arrive in the box, whether you're positioned at left wing back or left full back, you become an attacker in that 18-yard box, and you want to show the composure required.
Lindsay over to Rodney. Throw for Waterhouse. So we see where even though Humber Lion did in fact equalize, Waterhouse are still pressed. And they still are getting those opportunities behind that Humber Lion defense, but they would have to do better if they want to convert. Here is Howell. Howell sending that ball inside, trying to find Fletcher again, but defensive work by Linva Lewis. And it's another corner for Waterhouse.
I think Roden there just got a bit too tight to Howell. Once he turned, he just rolled the defender and looking to get that cross to Fletcher again. But Cumberland, in terms of the organisation defensively, is in the right position there just now.
That corner dealt with by Clennon, but it's still with Waterhouse. Fletcher. So he says he did foul Lorenzo Lewin, and it will be a free kick for Humber Lion.
I think Fletcher was the guilty party there. Just shoved the play off the ball, wanting to gain possession. But Humberland switched on to the ball to the near post. Apparently that's something that Waterhouse have worked on. Got a goal from it. But since then, Humberland have been switched on to that danger and has dealt with it quite well the past 2 or 3 corner kicks for Waterhouse.
Still Lion searching for that 8th win against Waterhouse. They played 34 games, Waterhouse and Humber Lion. 17 have been won by Waterhouse, 7 have been won by Humber Lion, and 10 stalemates. One of them coming in the last 5 games again between these two teams. It was a 0-0 scoreline. Again, it's Clarendon versus St. Andrew. The last time a team, the scoreline was 0-0, it was Waterhouse versus a Clarendon-based team, but it was not Humber Lion. It was Vere United.
But Vere didn't play like this. They really sat back. That game, it's a perfect example of being very negative and defensive and actually parking the bus. They really showed no attacking impetus in that game. Vere, can't say the same here about this Humber Lion team. They've certainly shown some intent to go forward, so much so that they've scored a goal and looking to score another now.
We want to score another. Here's Lorenzo Lewin for Humber Lion. Still Lewin. Sends it to Jibison. Again, just calmly collecting the ball is Dwar. Waterhouse again can attack. Miscommunication between Fletcher and Murray.
It's unlike Waterhouse. They tend to build the plays up. They were just looking to go forward very quickly and just did not pick the right pass or the way to pass as well. And that's something that they need to work on. Lewin seemingly had some problems with his footwear. Or it could be the heat coming from the turf here. We've seen players, we look over by Humber Lion going for water, but it's not really to consume. We've seen the Humber Lion players just bathing their foot with the water. There's a lot of heat coming from the surface.
Very sunny out here.
We've heard a lot of players speak about the heat from the surface. Sometimes, especially for goalkeepers who stand still a lot, and we could see there for Taylor for Humber Lion getting some water from his opponent's bench there and pouring it on his boot. So water break earlier was for them to rehydrate themselves. This little mini water break here was more so to cool the feet.
Certainly a sunny day here in St. Andrew, the Captain Horsborough Centre of Excellence. The first day of match day 6 between Humber Lion and Waterhouse. And we've already got 2 goals so far.
It's a shortened season. It's 6 out of 10. So for Humber Lion, this is their 5th game. Their 6th game, sorry. Such not much to come the rest of the season. So I know sometimes the coaches and the teams not realizing, get caught as we look at Challenger, Lewin, Clennon. Sorry, he is now the target player. I think Waterhouse have realized that any ball played long, Clennon will be the target. We spoke about it earlier that they may seek to crowd him out. That occasion they did that, but in an illegal way.
Dora was the man that was that in a chipped ball to Clennon. Referee says it's a penalty. A foul inside the 18-yard box on Andre Clennon, and now Humber Lion gets an opportunity to go ahead in this contest. Dwyer, it seems, was the culprit, the man that fouled Clennon inside the 18-yard box.
Yeah, it's a situation here for Humber Lion, given a chance to go ahead. I think for the second time this season, I think they'd taken the lead. I think it was against, as we look at the penalty there. Dwyer just looking to pull away, but yeah, definitely got Clennon.
Didn't get any of the ball and got Clennon's ankle.
I think Humber Lion against Arnett Gardens, they took the lead in that game and lost 2-1. So this is an opportunity for them to do so for the second time this season. Penalty, we think, a straightforward one here.
And it's Fancy looking for his 3rd goal of the season, calmly taken. And in the 43rd minute, it's Andrew Vanzi, his 2nd goal of the contest, his 3rd goal of the season. And Humber Lion, they now lead by 2-1.
This is, as I said, second time only this season in 6 games that Humber Lion have taken the lead. 1 goal in it when they did against Arnett Garden, scoring first but losing 2-1. This time they're leading 2-1, having come from behind. We see here really good penalty from Vanzi, sending Chambers the wrong way. And can he really send Humber Lion the right way up the table this time? Can they hold on? Long way to go, but they're leading this one. And Waterhouse, Achilles' heel is really hurting them much here now, having gone ahead and now behind.
Waterhouse still has an opportunity to maybe make it all square. And the man who has scored a brace for Humber Lion in this game, Vancy the man, fouls Andre Fletcher. It will be a free kick for Humber Lion. So the pressing by Humber Lion has really worked so far. They've gotten a goal.
And if you look at it again, the free kick, it went straight to Clennon. Right. Again, he's the player that they've targeted. And from the first goal kick, we saw it. And it's pretty much been that script for Humber Lion going to him. It has paid dividends. And so far, winning the balls in the air, ball coming to feet, making it stick. And this is the 2nd free kick, though, that Vanzi has given up pretty much in this area. Waterhouse looking to take something off the training ground.
Binns tried a clever free kick. Didn't work.
I don't know, I think Binns seemed to be not ready for that pass from Ramon Howell.
Ball sent inside, trying to find Fletcher, but Rodney, the man that dealt with that defensively, throw for Waterhouse. Howell. Binns chips that ball inside, trying to find Kenroy Howell, and collected by Taylor.
Yes, it's the fourth official getting ready to had 3 minutes to the end of this half.
Seems to be 3 minutes. Yes, it is. The fourth official has indicated 3 minutes minimum of stoppage time.
Humberland will want to take this in, this lead into the halftime interval. So it's really about concentrating here for Humberland, and maybe you feel not really going all out to press in numbers. We see on this occasion it was Christian who was the lone man pressing. They want to get players behind the ball. So far 9 players behind the ball for Humberland. It's about game management for the rest of this half for Humberland.
And trust me, it would be the happy of the two coaches, Andre Price. But we do see Waterhouse coming forward. It's Damian Baines, a shot at goal collected by Dennis Taylor.
Baines is a player with a good shot on him. And I was wondering why it appears that Graham was just shepherding him, just allowing him to take that shot, not getting goal side quick enough. And he's got to learn faster. It seems like he's really looking forward to the halftime interval. Is Graham. Mr. Taylor here getting some help with tying his laces. And his own teammate Rika Edwards doing the honours. Did he pull it himself and just wanted a little time wasting? I guess
A lot of times we've seen goalkeepers using that strategy.
I mean, they know they're the ones that the game cannot continue once they're down.
Right. Here's Fletcher. Couldn't find Campbell.
That was a timely interception there from Linville Lewis. They really needed to make that one. This Waterhouse would have been clean through on goal.
Jimison collects. And he couldn't keep that. Did he? Yes, he did. Kept that one inside. The Lions still with possession. Just wanting to keep the ball before the referee blows the whistle to end the first half. About 30 seconds minimum left.
Woden chose the wrong option there just now. Waterhouse, Humberland keeping possession. Christian was right in front of him. He tried to play the fancy flick around the corner. Lost possession. Luckily they've regained it. I think Waterhouse struggling to really keep the intensity going with this heat. And I think they've reserved themselves to go in at halftime trailing.
And referee Christopher Mason blows the whistle to end the first half. Humberline did go behind, but 2 goals from the man Andrew Vanzi has been the difference maker for this Clarendon-based team. So at the end of 45 minutes, at the end of the first half, it is Humberline 2, Waterhouse 1. Welcome back to the Captain Horace Burrell Centre of Excellence. Match day 6 between Humberline and Waterhouse. That double by Andrew Vanzi in the 18th and 43rd minute has been the difference for Humberline, but they were made to chase, but weren't made to chase Long Dwight. Referee Christopher Mason just checking his watch, looking. And the second half has started. Waterhouse looking to get their second win of the season and remain undefeated. There was appeal for a handled ball inside the 18-yard box. The referee says no. Dwar just skips over one challenge, and it's still Waterhouse, but defensive. The sound is Humber Lion. Goes into touch for a throw to Waterhouse.
Again, we saw Mark Rodney there for Humber Lion. Again, slow to start the second half. Was almost at fault at giving up a chance to Waterhouse in the first half. Was slow to get to that ball played into the box, and was quite lucky because he was a step away and could have initiated or made contact. So he seems to be a player who doesn't get switched on so quickly. Maybe the coaching staff will have to get him out to the dressing room first at the start and after the interval to get warmed up before getting back into action.
Really can't just warm up into a game against a team like Waterhouse. They do have the talent, and you wouldn't want to get them warmed up or be out of place, make contact inside the 18-yard box as we see a ball sent inside to Fletcher. Shot at goal, wide of the target.
Good ball into the box there, and Fletcher just couldn't contact, just put off by the presence of the two defenders for Humber Lion.
Just like at the beginning of the first half, the beginning of the second half, Waterhouse just continuing to press Humber Lion.
Ben's getting that ball into the box, but Fletcher, the run across him off Rico Edwards had put him off. Then he snapped at the shot.
Waterhouse in possession through Colorado Murray. He loses it to Vanzi. Lewin, Lorenzo Lewin, beautiful work to get by the Waterhouse defender. Clennon wanted to latch on to that one. Referee says no. Assistant says no. But he says it's a throw for Humber Lion.
And again we see Mark Rodney there giving up possession again. A ball thrown into him by Clennon, and just not switched on.
If you're Andrew Price, you'd have to tell him to basically wake up. Like I said, you cannot give, Waterhouse a lot of space and a lot of time on the ball, because if you do, then they basically will map out what they can do to get forward, get an opportunity presented to them. So you wouldn't want to just create that chance for them. And again, you see Rodney's not quick to defend against Campbell. But here's Kenroy Howell for Waterhouse. Still Howell loses it momentarily. Now it's with Donardo Thomas. Ball sent inside, headed out, and a try or an attempt at a bicycle kick by Colorado Murray. Straight into the gloves of the goalkeeper, Dennis Taylor.
Speak a lot about Murray, instinctive striker, looking to always get a shot on goal. But that build-up play before the ball was played too long, and Donardo Thomas picked it up. It was coming down the side where Mark Rodney on the right side for Humber Lion, and I don't know if it was just the fact that the space had opened up at that particular time, or Waterhouse is recognizing that that's an area of opportunity for them to get in behind this Humber Lion team. But if you're Marcus Gale, you'd feel like that's something that he needs to spot, or his coaching staff pick up on and take advantage of it. And as we said, Rodney, slow starter. See Clennon here, just got shot on while he was tracking back, but he's a player that has done well for Humber Lion today, and they'll want to keep him on the park as long as possible. Said had a good game the last time out, so much so that Coach Price felt that it was a good move to put him in from the start, and certainly has paid dividends. He has won the penalty for Humber Lion.
It's been a menace inside the 18-yard box for Humber Lion against Waterhouse, and based on what has been going on so far with Humber Lion, that has been A very good choice by Coach Price.
It was a very good choice. He came in and really has been a point of reference for Cumberland. Coach Gale here, quite thoughtful now and just trying to figure out how he gets back into this one.
Wouldn't want to rush things as we see a ball sent inside, but Cumberland does clear. However, it's still Waterhouse in possession. Dwa couldn't find Campbell. Now it's with Rodney, sent forward for Lorenzo Lewin. On it by 2 Waterhouse players. And ultimately the third, which is the captain, Nikolai Finlayson, wins that one. And it's a throw for Waterhouse.
Lewin did well initially to go across Kimani Campbell, but Kimani was bailed out by his captain, Finlayson. But that's what you want to do as an attacker, just cut across the path of the defender and just dare him to make contact with you.
We see normally his brother plays this position, Bernardo Thomas, but he decides to be the man to step up in that position today. Normally an attacker, Bernardo Thomas, but now plays right back in this one for Waterhouse.
In the modern game, the wing backs are very much a part of the attacking play. We've seen him a number of occasions finding himself in the attacking third for Waterhouse. So if he's disciplined enough to give you the tracking back and is good going forward, that's a plus for your team.
Waterhouse just trying to search forward. Colorado Murray finds Ramon Howell. To Stewart. Stewart constantly calling his players to the ball. Now it's with Kenroy Howell. Howell to Stewart. Stewart to Binns. And very good sliding interception challenge by Rodney, but in the end couldn't find Clennon. And it's back to Waterhouse.
And it's just constant pressure here. Cumberland been pegged back on their 18-yard, the top of their 18-yard box. Cumberland want to be switched on.
And a shot by Fletcher wide of the target. And Waterhouse just continue to go forward, but no conversion and the opportunities they've presented for themselves.
Now we see this shot from Fletcher. Once he turned, had space, and I think from 20 yards, 25 yards out, Cumberland will trust Taylor and goal to deal with anything that comes his way, and would be pleased with Waterhouse looking to shoot from distance. I think they'll be better served to try. Yes, they can mix it up, but just to be constant at this Cumberland team and get them to play, to try and track the markers. If they can play a lot of 1-2s on top of the 18-yard box.
Not the best reaction by Finlayson. He was grabbed by Clennon, but an elbow, it seems, to the throat of Clennon by Finlayson. Frustration.
I think Coach Price might be looking here and very much anxious to see what's going to happen, because I think when his team went down to 10 players, it was something similar in that area of the pitch, at this very same venue, where a player for him was sent off because of a raised elbow, and it didn't even look as much as that. You could see definitely a swing of the elbow, and on the evidence of what we've seen so far, I think Finlayson very fortunate to get away with a yellow card because of what we'd say equity in terms of what we've seen in terms of consistency. You'd feel that Cumberland may feel, and it was the same referee on that day, Chris Mason, who sent off a player from Cumberland. It was Lewis that got the red card on that occasion. So yeah, definitely not consistency seen here from Mason, and you can say that Clennon made most of it, but for sure there was a movement of the elbow towards the throat, and I felt Mason should have been consistent.
Well, trust me, if there was an actual VAR here, I really hope I really would think that he would get a different color card, because that motion to elbow somebody in their neck or in the face area. That could be dangerous.
And
I mean,
it should be. It should be, Eric. The assistant referee did come across and say to Mason, and maybe guided by what he had said to him there, but Mason is the man in charge. He was well positioned to deal with that.
Howell now for Waterhouse. Cheeky ball sent forward, trying to find Colorado Murray, but again Rico Edwards deals with it. Now it's with Clennon for Humberline and decides to play it back for Rodney. Rodney's still not 100% in the game, but he's doing enough. And you think that he's not 100% in the game, so you would attack mostly on the left, but Waterhouse mostly attacking on their right hand side.
I think also what Humberline is trying to do is to get help on that particular side, and that's Lewin there, who has tracked all the way back to give some help to Rodney. That's a way to deal with it as well. It will take a little bit away from your attacking play, but when you're leading the contest, you can afford to allow one of your wide attacking players to get back and create numbers up in defense. That's what I think Coach Price has done here with asking Lorenzo Lewin to track back, and there we see him again in a deep role, looking to try and assist on that part of the field.
Waterhouse still trying to find that equalizer. We're looking to do it early to maybe snatch a winner. They were the ones that were leading in this game. Fake pass there by Siobhan Stewart. Boss it across to try and find Colorado Murray, but couldn't.
Yeah, it's really a wall of green, and Waterhouse trying to pick their way through.
Colorado Murray couldn't latch onto that one properly, and it will be a goal kick for Humberline.
I think he was trying to lay that off to Fletcher, but it just came to him quickly, and the way he opened his foot, that was always going to run away for a goal kick. But again, yes, deep, compact, tracking their runner. It's called for a lot of concentration, but as they tire, that's when you feel Coach Price will have to look to freshen things up to ensure that his charges continue to be switched on.
I feel that we'd want to maybe close this game too early, because like I said, Waterhouse do have the quality to score. You see Colorado Murray, Andre Fletcher, Siobhan Stewart, Kenroy Howell. You know, Damian Binns has a goal or two in him, as well as Ramon Howell. So you wouldn't want to close the game too early, Humberline. So you wouldn't want to sit back so deep. And as the assistant says, seems to be.
I think it was Waterhouse who was called. Coach Gale was bellowing at the assistant referee to make the call. He did belatedly put the flag up, but he gave the kick to Humberline. Let's have a look here. I think Gale there testing that Clennon just had that flailing elbow. Nothing, I think, was deliberate with him. Just the action of going up, balancing himself. The arms came up, and maybe more so the Waterhouse player charging into Clennon's back. But you talk about Humberline trying to close the game out early. I think it's a combination of both. I think Waterhouse really started the second half on the front foot and really pushed Humberline back. But from the setup of Humberline, it was only Clennon who was up front, and you feel, I think it's more Coach Price anticipating Waterhouse coming at them.
Ball sent inside for Humberline. Kenroy Howell want to bring it out for Waterhouse. Ball sent across to find Denardo Thomas, but he does have Linval Lewis a chase, and the referee says it's a throw for Humberline. So the Humberline defenders are doing pretty decent in not giving Waterhouse that much opportunity going forward, and maybe that's contributing to the scoreline being 2-1 still in favor of Humberline.
I think on that passage of play too, you could see playing out probably the blueprint that Coach Price has come up with for the second half. He may feel that set pieces are going to be critical to his team, probably even going further, and he did commit about 7 players up front just now for that free kick, and they had to be scampering back. Waterhouse through Kenroy Howell didn't break as quick as you want, and then the final pass wasn't as accurate as it ought to be. But maybe that's something that Humberline is looking, hey, we'll take our chances, we'll sit back, we'll look to hit on the counter, we'll look to get set pieces.
Dwyer lost it for a second, but gives it back to Finlayson. It goes by Vanzi, or headed on by Vanzi. Bernardo Jibison against Bernardo Thomas, and it will be collected by Nash. Waterhouse just still being patient. 61.5 minutes gone, so they still have time to equalize, even latch a winner, but they cannot be too complacent. Here's Kenroy Howell. Howell sends that ball inside. Nobody there to meet it initially, but then grabbed by Dennis Taylor. And him and Rodney still on the floor for Humberline.
I think it was Kimani Campbell at the far post looking to get onto the end of that ball, played in by Kenroy Howell. But I think what Taylor just fell awkwardly there, just falling over his own player, seeking to go and take charge of the situation. Coach Price there, he's sensing the opportunity here to get his first point of the season. We could see, yes, it's really an awkward fall there for Taylor. He's coming out to really take charge of the situation and really going over his own player. I think the fact that they're leading, and funny enough, when you're leading, get over those situations quite quickly. Adrenaline flowing, and just want to see this one out. But it's still a long way to go for Humberline, and you think the best thing, as Coach Price had said at his pre-game interview, best form of defense is attack, and as such, feel he'd want to get a goal, but he's trying to just measure his approach to getting that goal.
Wouldn't want to rush it too much to get that third goal, but then you open yourself up. And look at Leonardo Jibinson just jogging back in defense. Well, not jogging, but running back in defense to just jockey the possession. Now it's with Colorado. Murray sends that one inside, but collected routinely by Dennis Taylor.
We see Waterhouse there really piling on the pressure. The possession start at halftime was about 57. They're at 70%. But I can tell you one thing, Coach Price won't mind. As long as the scoreline remains at 2-1, he'll say, have all the ball you want. I just think he's going to have to be mindful and have to be really assessing his charges, because it does wear players down to be working and tracking without the ball. So it's really a constant work, mentally as well as physically.
Throw taken quickly for Humberline. Lorenzo Lewin still on the ball. Still Lorenzo Lewin. Regain possession. Now it's with Jibinson. Jibinson still. And a shot at goal. The target.
It inadvertently fell to Vanzian, a man on a hat-trick. You are not going to expect him to look to pass, and he does have a good shot on him.
Seems to be substitution. So it's Andre Fletcher that will be coming off, and Rasheen Sharp coming on for Waterhouse. And then Sean Dwyer coming off. And it seems to be Shaquille Bradford that will be making his way onto the field.
Dwyer was the player to have given away a penalty. Look to see if there's a change in shape here for Waterhouse, because they've pulled out Dwyer, who is a central defender.
I see Damian Binns going back in defense to help with Finlayson. So it seems as if the man Binns will be in that centre-back role with Finlayson, that pairing with Finlayson, the captain. Now it's with Sharp. Sharp across to Campbell, but they lose possession again. Now it's with Lorenzo Lewin of Humber Lion. Graham, he would pass intercepted by Campbell. So he says it's a free kick for Waterhouse.
Waterhouse just looking to freshen up things, to pick up the pace of the game. Pat Tumberland has chosen to sit deep, just to really make them work harder, to really let them extend themselves and use up a lot of energy. See if you can wear them down.
Denardo Thomas sends up one inside, tried to find Colorado Murray again. Remember, it was Denardo Thomas, the man that supplied the corner for Colorado Murray for Waterhouse's goal in the 16th minute.
Yeah, Colorado Murray is a player that really anticipates quite well. He knows where the space is, he knows where he wants to go, and he just takes the defenders away from that space. He makes his run from deep. So that's one of the technique that players in the game, sometimes the better players, they do well because they know where they want to go, but knowing where you want to go is not to go there and stand there as we see the hydration break upon us, but you run into that area, and that's what he did there. Murray, good header of the football, good anticipation.
Andrew Vanzi, the man that has scored a double. The one to watch as we see the first goal. It came to Waterhouse, very good header by Colorado Murray in the 16th minute, his second start of the season. And then Andrew Vanzi, bang, with his right foot, collected it nicely and converted. And then the penalty call was the right call by referee Christopher Mason, committed by Dwyer and slotted routinely from the spot by Vanzi. So third goal of the season for Vanzi, a double in this one, and if it stays this way, Humber Lion will get their first win and their first 3 points of the season.
3 good goals there, penalty, as you said earlier, well deserved. It was the right call from referee Mason, and Vanzi cool and calmly slotted that away. The first goal for Murray was really well executed. Ball played to the near post, ran from pretty much midway the goal and just got a yard or two on his marker and just flicked that neck muscle, and Taylor had no chance. And the first goal by Vanzi, good strike. Must have been surprised to find himself with so much space and time in the box, and with a good technique just hit the back of the net. But I want to say that Sean Dwyer must be a relieved man to be off the field, because he gave up the penalty, but on that replay you saw he was at fault with a defensive header, didn't get much purchase on it, and it fell to Vanzi, who converted. So Dwyer would have want to quickly forget today, because it really wasn't a good day for him out.
Sean Dwyer, normally that wall in defence with Nikolai Finlayson, was the culprit for both goals for Humber Lion. Didn't hit that ball clear, as you said, and fell nicely on Vanzi's right foot. Johnson tried to find Clennon but didn't. Goal kick for Waterhouse. So Good substitution by Marcel Fuzzy Gale. Puts a man like Shaquille Bradford, who can really turn a game on its head. You know, former Camperdown man, Camperdown captain for their Manning Cup team. As I said, can turn a game on its head. Scored a very good goal at the start of the season. Right-footed curling strike against Dumbeholding. So they need those boots from Shaquille, those scoring boots from Shaquille Bradford in this one. So the reason for position or that substitution is to maybe get some more bodies forward in attack. But here's Humberline. Jiminson taken off the ball by Damien Binns, who is the new centre back in terms of pairing with Nikolai Finlayson after Dwar's substitution.
Yeah, it was a good passage of play there from Humberline. Tried to go forward initially, but there was no option. But they really worked themselves out of defence quite well with some one-touch, two-touch passing. But just as it got to the final third, you felt the ball to Clennon would have been what would have helped them to really keep possession.
And the referee will issue a caution, it seems. And it's for dissent. And it's the substitute, Shaquille Bradford.
Well, you say he can turn a game on its head. He needs to keep his head now. Certainly, he just have too much to say just now. He needs to just wrap his head around the task that was given to him by Coach Gale, which is to get out there. As you see, confirmation of the yellow card to Shaquille Bradford. His task is to get Waterhouse back into this game, and by whether a defense splitting pass or hitting the back of the net. And he would want to go into the referee's book not for dissent but for scoring a goal.
Referee Mason, as we see, a no-nonsense referee. There's Shaquille Bradford again for Waterhouse. Ball sent across for Shaquille Bradford. Not sure if that's the right decision. Should have sent that one inside maybe.
See him pointing across to Sharp, saying maybe Sharp, but he really looked lively there, Bradford. And yeah, that was always going to be difficult. Kicked across it, maybe a cross goal. He couldn't wrap his foot around it, so again would have been difficult to get it across goal.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe his hand gesture was suggesting that he wanted to give it to Sharp.
Yeah, but didn't wrap around it quite well.
Right.
But that's much more of what Coach Gale would have wanted from him, having put him on to try and get Waterhouse back into this game.
Stewart to Sharp. Murray couldn't find a substitute again. Battle in the air.
Waterhouse here feeling like they're really not their day today. Referee the call. Coach Gale not least pleased with that call from Mason. But I think Coach Mason has done him a favour so far in this game to ensure that his team is still at 11 players on the park. Really not much in that one, to be fair. But like I said, Coach Gale could have been down to 10 players and have his leader sent off.
Ball sent inside, dealt with by Binns. Again had to be dealt with by Kieran Campbell. He puts that one into touch, so Waterhouse still continuing to press forward. Sharp still. And I've seen that one all the way through. Referee says it's a goal kick, so nicely done by Rodney to let that one run out.
His warm-up period would have passed Rodney, and so he's fully up to speed. You know, in the auto mechanics world, you talk about gasoline type engine and diesel engine. I think he didn't hit his warm-up switch, but he switched on now, and certainly coming into his own, and I think that will release Lewin for Humberland.
Lorenzo Lewin for Humberline. Nobody to necessarily meet it immediately. Clennon was coming into the 18-yard box, but not in time, I believe. And Waterhouse regains possession through a goal kick. Just over 75 minutes gone in this contest. Just under 15 minutes to go. Maybe it is now time for Waterhouse to convert those opportunities because time is of the essence.
I think Coach Price also looking to get some fresh legs on the park because he would have recognized that concentrations might be weighed, energies dropping, and the Waterhouse putting on fresh legs will call his players into question even more. So you see Coach Price looking to freshen up things as we see a yellow card here.
Not playing around is referee Christopher Mason. And it's another yellow card.
Lorenzo Lewin, is it?
Yes.
He's been doing a lot of tracking back, giving a lot of help to Rodney. Yeah, very late, and then the follow through. That's a yellow card every day.
Nothing wrong with that one in terms of the decision by the referee. Ball chipped inside. Opportunity still. Oh, opportunity presented for Shaquille Bradford. I would have wanted to convert that one. The former Camperdown man. Not a bad ball by Binns.
A simple ball into the box, and you expect Humberland to deal with that, and I think that's what goalkeeper Taylor is remonstrating about. You can't give him such time and space in the box, and that first header was just floated in. And two players, Sharp being one of them, was underneath it. No Humberland player was inside, and Bradford, I think, was just too casual on that one. We see the change coming up for Humberland.
Yes, Humberland, Sir J. Graham, he is coming off, and it seems to be Gregory Lewis that will be making his way onto the field. And also the number 24, that's Chibbison. He'll be coming off as well. And the number 30, Shamari Dallas, did start in the previous game and now on as a substitute in this one.
Dallas is a good player. He's lively, good going forward. So positive change from Coach Price. He spoke about questioning whether or not he want to close it out early. I think he's picking his moments to try and influence this game. So he would want to hold out, expecting the pressure to come from Waterhouse at the start of the second half. But as long as he could keep them off the score sheet, he knows they would have doubt.
Ball sent inside, trying to find Clennon. Finlayson dealt with that one.
He had to that outstretched boot of Finlayson. Every inch of that size, whether 9, 10 or 11 boot was needed there, because Humberland was looking to get that go-ahead goal to really calm themselves.
Getting by Shamar Dallas very well. It's Leonardo Thomas. Is still Thomas, but Dallas dealt with it pretty well, recovered pretty well, and it's a throw for Waterhouse.
Fought there by Humberland, their number 19, in terms of Christian appealing rather than going to gain possession of the ball.
Of course, he had Gregory Lewis.
That was Gregory Lewis, sorry, who didn't chase and had to do some defending. Bailed out now because it is a goal kick to Waterhouse, but got to play to the whistle. And that's about concentration.
Former Clarendon College player Gregory Lewis.
You would expect better from him. Clarendon pedigree, producing lots of good player, formerly of Mount Pleasant. So definitely that I think that just comes down to the fact that he's really put in a shift today and just didn't want to chase it. He probably knew what he ought to have done, but just the legs wouldn't allow him to. So conserving, I think, maybe Humberland definitely looking to consolidate their position here. And I still feel it's a missed opportunity for Waterhouse if they're not to get back into this game. Because like I said, the teams that are in and about where they're at, jostling for that top 6 position, 4 of those 5 that they're among would have taken 3 points from Humberland. So it's almost like a 6-pointer. You lose it to Humberland, losing 3 points, but also losing pace with the teams above you or in and about you. So Waterhouse would want to get back into this one.
They have less than 10 minutes to go to get an equalizer and possibly a winner. But as it stands, Humberland, they're leading. Colorado Murray, the one to chase Rico Edwards, but Edwards sends it back for Taylor.
Again, you could see Taylor finding Clennon all day long. He has found Clennon. That came off the post. Parried onto the post, it seemed, by goalkeeper Chambers.
Right.
Sort of speculative from Clennon. Was on his own. That was what he felt was his only option. Ball again, he was found by Taylor all game long. Taylor has been finding him. And he's really held the line well. Almost lost his footing. Right. Then came inside off the left, and Chambers had to be smart there, getting down to his left to effect a save, and bailed out by the upright.
So Siobhan Stewart, he's coming off, and Rohan Beadle is coming on, a headed goalwards by Clennon, wide of the target, and it's a goal kick. Rohan Beadle, former Excelsior High School player, I should say. Beadle now on the ball, sends it back for Ramon Howell. Now it's with Sharp. Was with Sharp. Loses it. There was a collision. Lewin Ryan writhing in pain. Seems to be his left shin. He's holding. It is.
Fourth official in consultation with referee Mason. And we've seen here where fourth officials have influenced the game. Penalty. Mount Pleasant thought they had a penalty last time. We see Sharp here, the player to be shown the yellow card. He seemed to be the culprit here. Have a look.
Came in, he was challenged by Campbell, and whoa.
Yeah, over the ball. Sharp really went over the top. And he's crying out that it is ball, but it was just the base of his studs that might have touched it. It was more the player in Lowen than the ball for Sharp. Shouldn't have any complaint. There's a confirmation yellow card to him.
So it's a free kick for Humble Lion. Dealt with by Howell, Ramon Howell, but Humble Lion still have possession. Still going forward. And now it's Shaquille Bradford. Referee says it's a foul. It will be a free kick. What an opportunity that would have been had the referee said play on.
I'd love to see that one again. And here we see it. Because I think the defender didn't have the opportunity. Just inadvertently clip him, did Bradford. Unintentionally, but just in his stride, in going for the ball, clipped the heels of the defender on that occasion. On that occasion, it was Linville Lewis. He got bailed out by the whistle of the referee.
So a lot of former Clarendon College students. Referee Christopher Mason also a former CC man.
You're not suggesting that.
No, I'm not.
Referee Mason is given favourable cause because I know you're not. No, you're not, Chris. I know you're not. But yes, it's good to point out that he is from Clarendon and played the Costa Cup with these players as well. So with Lewis.
Opportunity now for Rohan Beadle. Couldn't get by Rodney. Seems
wonder if those fact checks are done when referees are appointed. And I guess if Coach Gale is aware of that, because he's still demonstrating on the touchline, he might want to say a thing or two about it in a way that he's not fined. But Chris, you're the one who brought it up.
As we see that decision, seems it's a free kick, and that foul committed by Mark Rodney for the Lion, and Dennis Taylor again shouting instructions. Wouldn't want to concede this late in the contest. 4.5 minutes left in this one, plus stoppages as well, Dwight, and you wouldn't want to concede. No, 3 points always is better than 1. That ball sent to Binns, a shot at goal. Headed out by Vanzi.
Again, and you're coming down to this time of the game, unless something happens dramatically in this one, he looks prime suspect for man of the match.
Vanzi, who has been everywhere for Humber Lion, in defense, in the middle of the park, in attack, of course, in attack, as we saw that goal from him, the equalizer. Another substitution for Waterhouse. That ball sent inside. That opportunity. Attempted to head it goalwards, but couldn't. And Ramon Howell is the man that's coming off. And Rafiq Thomas makes his way onto the park. He was a late substitution in the last game that Waterhouse had. And he's a late substitution here today. Marcel Ezekiel looking for that equalizer from his team. They want to be one of the top 6 teams that aren't able to get the job done against Humber Lion, but as it stands, Humber Lion getting the better of them. This will be their first victory in 6 meetings. The last 6 meetings will be their first victory, and it'll be their 8th win overall in 35 games against Waterhouse. Beadle. And seems to be a double change for Humber Lion. Kenmore Howell. Over to Bradford to Howell again. Still Howell. Now it's with Murray. Colorado Murray. Good defensive work by Rika Edwards, but Waterhouse still has possession. Beadle challenges for the ball and wins it. Sharp loses the ball, and it will be collected by Dennis Taylor, and it is. Tossing across to find Clennon, chested down nicely, looking for options. It is still Clennon, twists and turns. Vanzi wants a hat-trick, but that ball way over the target. It will be a goal kick for Waterhouse. A player's down on the field. Seems to be Clennon. It is.
I think they're also helping to get Humber Lion, give Humber Lion the opportunity to get fresh legs onto the park. So they're about to make a double substitution. You can't fault Clennon for taking a seat. He's really led the line very well for Humber Lion today. He has been ever present. The quality of Taylor, not only in his ability as a goalkeeper to stop the ball from going to the back of the net, but his ability to distribute the ball. He has found Clennon about 90% of the times that he has tried to do so from goal kicks or passes made to him, and he had to go along with it. So Clennon has really done a job for his coach today, and
Seems to be
his
one of the players coming off, but it is Jermaine Christian as a man that's coming off, but Andre Clennon is the man that's coming off, and there's Gregory Morgan making his way onto the field. Now it's Lorenzo Lewin that's coming off, and Ramoy Parkins making his way onto the field.
So looking to close the game out now, you feel, Coach Price, just getting fresh legs out there. Interesting to see how much. It's 5 minutes that the referee, a minimum of 5 minutes. It's probably the longest 5 minutes for Humberland. It's like that when you haven't had a good season, when you haven't had good results. It would appear it's just so long for Waterhouse. On the contrary, these 5 minutes will just be zipping away so quickly, as long as they cannot find the equalizer.
They'll be hoping for the score to stay this way. Sent inside. Opportunity again for Waterhouse.
And guess who? Vance is the man who snuffed that out.
He's been everywhere in this game.
And interesting to note, this season has been, it's a shortened season, it's a compact table, and when you look at the table earlier, I mean, they're yet to get a point, but if they get 3 points, they're just 3 points behind Waterhouse, who is in 6th position, which is a spot for the playoffs. So
it's so interesting.
It's interesting.
It's such a very exciting season. I'm not saying always shortening the season means better, but getting your first win in 6 meetings, in 6 outings so far, and you're just 3 points off the playoff spot. And they're the persons who you're playing, the ones in the last playoff spot. So
I mean, albeit that they would have played a game more than Waterhouse, but I'll tell you this, a game in hand means nothing. You still have to go out on the park and win it. So, of course, they would want to put pressure on the teams above them. And we all know, in a game, it's a goal does work miracle. In a match or a tournament, a win can really change your fortunes. And it's up against a good Waterhouse team.
Yes. And I was just about to say that, Dwight, that you'd want to get the momentum going. Maybe this is a step in the right direction for Humberline. You'd want to keep that momentum going, and if they do, it would be promising. Remember, Humberline was 4th in the table before the suspension and ultimate cancellation of last season because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So they'll be looking to get back to that form. But here's Rohan Beadle to Kimani Campbell. And the Beadle just dropping back in defense. He's a very versatile player, Rohan Beadle.
That's what you get. I mean, not to cut you out there, but you see Humberline just being very organized, deep, allowing Waterhouse to play, and everything is happening in front of the defense line. It didn't go wide where you're gonna get runners going down to turn them around, and in the end, nothing passed from Waterhouse. And in football, we talk a lot about the attacking play, but so often we don't give enough credit to the defensive side of the game, and Humberland have done well today. Good balance.
Here is Ramoy Parkins, ball set over and collected by Nash. Samoy Nash is keeping that one in his grasp, not allowing Humberline to score their 3rd.
I think it was Dallas there.
Oh, Shamari Dallas.
He's smiling all the way, but he's going to want to see this one out before he ensure he has that smile on his face, because that was an opportunity, a very good opportunity for Humberland to bury this game.
Right. Now it's for Shane Sharp of Waterhouse. Blocked by Dallas. And the defense would have wanted to keep that one inside. They couldn't. And it will be a corner for Waterhouse.
I'd be surprised if Waterhouse were to leave any player back. Goalkeeper not really going, but I mean, for sure, every blue shirt should be in that box or in and about the penalty box or the 18-yard box there, because this is possibly their last opportunity to get back into this one. Humberland will want to be switched on.
Yeah, just a couple seconds in this one. Ball sent inside. Dealt with again defensively twice, and the man headed out is the man Andrew Vanzi.
Yeah, Dallas was the first to get to it, and then Vanzi.
Now it's with Gregory Morgan. And a shot, a goal.
I'm not a betting man, but I would have put my money on him shooting from there. His size suggests that he's not mobile enough, and he didn't fancy taking on any defenders. And once he got his second touch, you could see it's only one thing he was going to shoot.
And that is the end of the contest. A double by Andrew Vanzi in the first half has meant that Humble Lion recorded their first win of the season in 6 meetings. And at the end of 90 minutes, at the end of this contest, it is Humble Lion 2, Waterhouse 1.